Lizard.
I don't know.
Just remember, I don't make mistakes.
I am the mistake.
Yes, we know.
Wow, Steve.
Got him.
What? You know. God damn it! Why do we have to go there? It's stream, guys. I thought we have to like tone this shit down, huh?
Reminder: Cat is still alive.
Yes.
Oh, really?
They can't hear him.
He can say shit, but we can't. But I think but I agree with Torek.
Oh, really?
I mean, of course, in hindsight,
Cat, I posted a video in shitpost for you.
What the fuck?
Oh, really? What the fuck, Steve Dial? Powerful video.
So powerful, so stunning, so brave.
So brave indeed. Now that's
Let's say you shouldn't have the shouldn't have the channel open when you try to enter the US. Right? Already? Damn.
Farewell.
Hello, chat. Sorry I'm late today. I am running a little bit behind. Mostly because I was playing a little bit of Hytale before stream, and I got stuck trying to kill some zombies and get back to my base so I could log out. I mean, I guess I could probably have logged out outside of base, but I think it's like the survival gamer in me that goes like, no, don't do that. That's unsafe. I am live everywhere, so chat, if you guys would, make sure you guys go give the tweet some love. Helps me out. And we're going to be getting started here real quick. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Shame, that's all. Hello, chat. How's everybody doing today? Sorry I did not stream yesterday. We actually just had a cold front rolled through this morning. It's actually getting pretty cool outside. I believe we have a frost warning, a freeze warning for tonight, which is, if you know anything about Florida, extremely cold. But basically yesterday, I think it's like my body knew that front was coming because my sinus pressure was just awful. And by the end of the day, I think it had just gotten inflamed. I had to take like painkillers and everything and go lie down, which is rare. Like, I do get sinus pressure, but usually unless I'm getting like a sinus infection, it doesn't do what it did there. But yeah, so it's like pretty much by like, I want to say around like 10:30, I finally started feeling better. I was sitting kind of in Discord with some people because I didn't want to sleep the entire time, but I was just like not really up for doing much of anything. I'm in Michigan and we're knee deep in snow right now. Yeah, I've been hearing from my buddy in Ohio that they got a lot of snow as well, so I get it. Like, but it's like, even for Florida, it's like getting down to freezing is already like kind of insane to us. I am feeling better though. I feel a lot better today, so thank you guys for that. I apologize because I really did want to like get in like a nice solid like 4-day week for you guys, because I knew that I was gonna have or be gone from stream Friday, so it was what it was. But it kind of didn't work out. I think I just been pushing myself a little bit too hard on top of everything because there was the concern of like, oh, maybe I was coming down with something, but thankfully I was not, and I'm good today. In fact, today I'll let you guys peek behind the curtain. Today, if you guys see right there, I rode on my new exercise bike. So I'm also a little bit winded from that. But it was good. I'm glad to be able to get back to doing some actual cardio. Ugh. Cat had to fight the boogie monster, pretty much. Okay, let's do something on JP. I don't know what. There's not really, like, half cost to anything other than the strengthenings and interludes, which I've done all of them except the costume here, which I guess I'll go ahead and do. Wait, no. No, this is like the Kiara fight, isn't it? Let's not touch that today. I'll save that for a day that I don't have anything going on. But how was chat's Wednesday and Thursday? Grand Farm to bond Logress? I mean, I really don't feel a pressing need to bond her. I know that sounds insane, but tis the truth. She is already pretty much fully functional at what she is, because the only append you really need on her is her 5th append, so it is what it is. NP3 Saber has been carrying the 90++ for me. Nice. Also, chat, is song request like not taking into account you guys' requests, or is just nobody song requesting? I'm gonna refresh it just to make sure. So I realize that might be a problem. But I don't think we had any song requests on Tuesday either. Huh? That's so weird. It's like the interface is bugging out. Anyways. Hello, Pesho. No Discord vids today? No, not today. Learning how to skate backwards. It's hard and tiring. I'm in my basement where it's cement. So when you say skate, I assume you mean like rollerblading and not like ice skating? Because I hope you can't ice skate in your basement. That might be another problem. I'm doing pretty good, Shadow. How you doing? I thought streamer had frozen. Listen, you're just gonna have to let it go. Also, I didn't do the cooldown thing. I keep forgetting to do that at the beginning of this comp. Well, let's actually do that as well. He could have an artificial ice ring in his basement. Yeah, but what are the odds of that? I feel like that's slim to none. Also, chat, I believe it's now official. The Wicked Witch is dead. Kathleen Kennedy is actually stepping down from Lucasfilm. Variety apparently confirmed it at like 5:30 today. So, thank God, honestly. I know some people felt like she was still a really positive force for Star Wars, and to a degree, I do think she did have some positive impacts. But I'm just kind of at the point of saying, like, look, I'm sorry, I don't think anybody can do any worse in the sense of you had somebody trying to mold Star Wars into their image that was clearly not Star Wars. And I feel like that really just negatively impacted things for years. On top of, for other bigger things where she knew she didn't have the leeway to do that, she didn't actually like make sure there was a concrete plan in mind, and like basically didn't give people enough agency to actually produce anything good. The one time she did was Andor, and there's a lot of people out there that are trying to credit her with like Andor's success, and it's like Andor was a success in spite of her. I've seen Tony Gilroy, the guy that made Andor, basically come out and say that Andor would not have happened without Kathleen Kennedy. And that's true. It also almost didn't happen because of Kathleen Kennedy. That's one of those, hey, like, just don't say anything negative about your boss type statements. Because at the end of the day, Kathleen Kennedy wanted Andor to be a completely different show. She had a writer come up with a script for it and did not invite Tony Gilroy to it. For those of you guys that don't know, Andor stars Cassian Andor, who is one of the characters from Rogue One. Tony Gilroy was in charge of Rogue One. She did not invite Tony Gilroy to do Andor at first. She had a complete third party do it, and then only when it was like kind of a garbage heap of a script did the writer himself go to Tony Gilroy and ask for his input. That's right. Kathleen Kennedy didn't go to Tony Gilroy despite claims otherwise. It was the writer of the script went to Tony Gilroy to ask his opinion on it because he wanted the guy that actually wrote Rogue One to weigh in. And then Tony Gilroy went, "What are you doing? This is terrible." And basically had to take it back to Kathleen Kennedy. So the only credit you can really give to Kathleen Kennedy is that she at least realized when Gilroy got involved to get out of his way. That's it. That's the only credit she actually gets for it. But it's kind of insane to me that, like, I've seen people trying to, like, blame other people and say, like, oh, yeah, like, you can't give her any shit. She made Andor. And it's like, no, Andor almost didn't happen because of her. Did y'all hear about the armed robbery for like 100,000 in Pokemon cards in New York City last night? No, but that's insane if that's the case. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? When you have actual value to these things and there is such a hot market, it's natural that this sort of thing is going to happen. And I think a lot of that just boils down to a lot of these trading card companies just make their product like artificially scarce, and because of that they create a run and they drive up the price, and then shit like this happens. It's the same thing with, like, if you guys remember, like the PlayStation and Switch 2 sales where the scalpers all got involved and were like up to no good basically. And it's the same problem here. It's like, because you've created that artificial scarcity, the scalpers get involved, and eventually shit goes to hell. I blame South Park, yeah. You can make PSA as well. Who's PSA? You just resubmit until you get a higher rating? What? Wait, huh? Did I do it again? I could have sworn I did it on the first pass. Sorry, I don't know why, but that one wasn't playing. The card graders, yeah. Did they start trouble in the neighborhood and your mom got scared? No. But yeah, I don't know, man. Some of that stuff's just kind of crazy to me. Also, I did post something in gaming news about, like, I guess they confirmed that some of Monster Hunter Wild's poor performance on PC is because it keeps constantly checking for DLC to be enabled, which is kind of insane. So it's like the more DLCs you've purchased, the less of a problem it is. The less DLC you've purchased. If you've gone completely free to play, the more your game hitches, which is kind of insane. Dang, it's pay to win now. Yeah, and that's I think the problem that you're gonna have is like people are just gonna end up like not putting up with this sort of thing, and to a degree, I think that's why you see like let me go double check. So Monster Hunter Wilds is still mixed reviews. And like look at it. It's not like it didn't get a shit ton of people to play it, right? Like when you've got like basically 80,000 reviews, you know there's way more players than that. So that's a good chunk. But you look at that and you go like, why is it mixed? And it's almost all because of game performance more than anything. Um and I feel like that's just bad and sad. Yeah, 2 false promises to fix the game's performance. The more DLC you had, the better your FPS. Yep, there you go. The gameplay is decent but highly overrated. There are many glaring issues with it. The wounds mechanic, some weapons rely more on wounds mechanic to be effective. I wouldn't say that. It's just like there's definitely one or two where it's a little annoying if you don't get them. And it's not usually a problem unless somebody is being an asshole and like popping every wound in a group setting. And you're paired with bow users. Yeah, bow users are literally like bow users and usually like dual blade users are usually the problem with that. And they don't require it, they just pop them like very quickly. So that's more on like bow users and dual blade users need to be cognizant that that's what they're doing to people. There's more content packed into its area compared to the ones in Wilds. I don't agree with this. I feel like the content that they're talking about is just hollow bullshit stuff. The weapons don't feel great anymore. I myself stopped using the charge blade entirely in Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, see, this is what it really just sounds like, is that he just doesn't like the change to charge blade. Which I haven't heard bad things. There's still plenty of people I know that use charge blade. I know the big ones were originally Hammer was really bad and Bug Stick was really clunky. Sorry, Chad, I'm just getting like one guide right now, but Rise allowed hunters to customize weapon movesets. Yeah, honestly, I kind of didn't like that because there was just a meta and you were just going to sit there and use that meta. Like there was no point in even really giving players the choice. The insane starting price of the base game after all those years of development. It's $70. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I also don't like $70 games. I think it's fine. I don't think there's any issue, and none of the DLC is required. It's all cosmetic shit. I don't know. Some of these people, when they leave reviews, it's like, if you want to leave a review because of performance issues, I get it. That's perfectly fine. Most of the gripes that people have with the game, it's like, it's almost like they just weren't catered to. Like, it's like, oh, you didn't go out of your way to try to appease specifically me. And it's like, whatever, man. You try out Quarantine Zone. Quarantine Zone, where... That's a trending one, isn't it? This thing? I don't get it. You just... Is it like a Papers, Please game? By the makers of Dead by Daylight? Really? Huh. Only $20. I don't know. I haven't heard about this game really at all. So you guys would have to tell me. I know the series doesn't have compelling stories, but this doesn't have a compelling story, so it's shit. I mean, honestly, it's the same thing as like people complaining about the story in Dark Souls, right? Seriously. Like, oh no, Dark Souls doesn't have a good story, and people will like rant and rave and be like, Vadi Vidya, yeah. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but chat, like, unless you go hunting for the story, Dark Souls does not have a story. And that's fine. Not every game needs to have like the most robust story. By the way, chat, I did finish all of my missions. I actually did that this morning. I think I got the last run done to finish everything. So we're probably going right back to, where's the 90++? Edo. Where's the 90+? Yeah, I'll take the 90++. It's just better mats. And I'm gonna run this with like all bronze, because I think bronze I'm way far behind on. Now chat, do you guys think I can do this with single Castoria and Takaru? You can shoot zombies too, so there is action in it. What's up, tacos? I didn't know the ++ had obsidian daggers, so that's a nice drop for me. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna go sit on it. I thought those were Dead by Daylight characters? Yeah. If Viola is released at the new event, what kit do you think they will give her? Buster Arts or Quick? Probably Quick based off the other Sakura faces, but it is definitely a who knows type of situation. We'll just do it like that. Happy Friday Eve. Yep. So just a reminder, chat, because even though I didn't stream yesterday, technically yesterday was not a date night. Friday is my date night this week, so I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. I also believe next week it's a similar situation, where I believe both Wednesday and Friday are taken up for me. And that's not going to be an every week sort of thing, guys, but it is, you know, kind of been the case of late, and I'm sorry for that. We're also going into tax season, so you guys are going to be getting a little bit less in terms of stream length due to stuff. Ugh, man, I am feeling that bike ride. Oh, that actually undershot by quite a bit. $100K CAD points to cancel the date? No. I'm going to go eat like great Italian food, chat, and probably get some ice cream afterwards. So, sorry. Well, sorry, not sorry. It has been nice, honestly, like getting to just be way more like socially active and like going out and like talking to people and doing stuff, and like it's just been way more fun. It definitely helps having somebody that you like to spend time with, though. You should get some Thai food one night. I I'm not the biggest fan of Thai food, but it's because we have a Thai restaurant in town that is god awful. And I'm sure like if I had good Thai food, I would like it. But that has been my problem, is that like the stuff that I've gotten so far is not. How's the doggo? Doggo's doing good. Do you have Dante and JP as a banner? Dante as in Dante Alighieri? No, I don't. Though to be fair, I don't know that I care. Like Dante Alighieri is an interesting unit, but he strikes me as like the epitome of a unit that I really just don't need. Like I get like character wise why people want to roll for him though. Damn normie cat arc. To be fair, chat, I've always been half normie. I've just also been somebody that like I'm very nerdy. I have very eclectic interests. And so to me, I dabble in both worlds. And it's really I think that's one of the reasons that I like my girlfriend is she's just very much the same way as me. She is somebody that is also a little bit of both. Only half? Yeah. Cad, just ride the bike on stream while playing FGO, kill two birds with one stone. I absolutely could. I absolutely don't want to. Like, dear Lord, 4 hours on an exercise bike, I think I'd die. I did, I think, 25 minutes on it today, which is pretty good considering I haven't, like, ridden on one. I haven't ridden a bike in, like, decades. But I also, like, I haven't been running for a long time now. So, like, I'm completely out of shape in that regard. Be more excited for on an A, Marie Alter or Count of Monte Cristo? Marie Alter. The reasons should be obvious, chat. I don't have any Takaru cards. We're just going to go ahead and do the Castoria NP there. IRL stream win. That would probably depend on the girlfriend. Which she does want to like she's expressed the desire to like come on and everything, but there's still a couple of like hurdles that we need to like deal with. So I'm not like, this is gonna sound weird, but I'm not in a rush to make it happen. And I certainly don't want to like pressure her into it. Get a rowing machine when you need a difficulty increase? I don't. So this is my first time writing on it, right? I was sitting there and I was like, holy shit, I can barely push the pedals. This doesn't seem right. And apparently the bike has a difficulty that scales 1 to 100. And when it started out, it was on like 100. I found the knob and I turned it some and I was like, okay, that's definitely making it a little bit easier. I feel that. And I looked down at the monitor while it's on because I kind of tried to like force it still. And it's like, oh, you're now at difficulty like 95 out of 100. And I was like, what? So I ended up like turning it all the way down to like difficulty 30. And I was like, whatever, we're just going to set it at that. Like, if this is too easy, that's fine. I'll just, like scale it up the next time I do it. But it's like I don't want to start out with it on like the worst like difficulty mode ever. Which actually, wait, chat, where's our CQ? Aha! I was gonna say, it's like there's gotta be a CQ. How much was my exercise bike? I got it on sale. It was like $700. It's not bad, honestly. Like, considering the amount of like use I'm gonna get out of it and the fact that it saves me having to like go run, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of worth, honestly. And it has a lot of like extra stuff that it can do, so I'm happy with that. I think Marie Alter sounds like a tornado siren. What? Touch the doggo. Pet the doggo. CQ is titled The Name of the Samurai Remnant opening? Really? Well, that was enough. I was able to grab all the crystallized lores and nothing else. To be fair, though, they are usually like the first thing I buy, regardless. DQ for this event's pretty easy. What is it? Let's check it. Wait, did I close? Huh? That's so weird. I apparently closed like all my tabs. I don't remember doing that. So it's Iori and Takaru. I mean, I feel like that would be good to. Well, there is a Lancer and an Archer there. Yeah. It's actually probably really good to take Musashi Berserker against, especially if you've done her NP interlude. You can AoE the fight, but it's a lot harder. Wait, why? %200 HP up to all enemies. It looks like the problem there is Iori's guts. Yeah, I mean we can try with like Castoria and Squirtoria. Ultra high difficulty mode. So wait, I just don't want to pop the guts on Iori, or is it someone else? Wait, why do I have that many Prisma Cosmos spares? Damn. That was actually confusing me. You survived? Congrats. Just because I haven't looked too closely at this one, we're gonna run this with Atlas. Because I'm always unsure about stuff like that. And it goes away? Okay, that's fine. Ah, so it's the bar break guts, got it. I just hope Takaru doesn't have an instant charge. Yeah, that'll kill. And get the full refund. Special damage reduction's kind of nasty. That's also kind of nasty. Chill out, Iori, bro. Hmm. 2 turns of it? I don't care. We're just gonna full send. Because we're invincible this term. George, I think I've already answered that question multiple times. Do you think we see a new Chinese servant anytime soon, or it's over after censorship? Yes. That I'm not sure of. Like, I'm sure they'll do more Chinese stuff if they want to. It's just kind of a weird situation. I think we're gonna do this. I could put the NP after like Castoria's, but I really just don't feel the need to at the moment. Squirtoria is just actually just obliterating in here. And it's like, even if Takaru lives, it's not the end of the world. Yep. The big problem's actually going to be Ku here with him being anti-archer and quite literally his ability to just get through stuff. There we go. Should be a real shame. Real shame. I'm not going to go for the full chain. We'll go for the mighty chain just in case. That'll also get Castoria some charge there. And they are really fixated on Castoria, though. This is actually good. Everybody's ready for their NP one more time. Wait. He reactivated his guts? Huh. I gotta see what this does. I don't know if this will count for the effect or not, since it's not the first one. Okay. It's not a full reheal, yeah. It also doesn't look like it gave the max HP up thing. Oh, because it's the Demon of the Sword effect, which that's what went bye-bye. So it's not the guts itself that gives it. It's while he has the Demon of the Sword timer up that does that. Which that is gone. Okay, so that makes more sense. I was sitting there, I was like, man, it's like I was expecting that that was gonna really mess with me. But yeah, this is a very easy way through the fight. Okay? I'm gonna do it again. Don't have any Squirtoria cards. So we just go with the Arch Chain, get everybody back to their noble phantasm. Didn't get the crit on Lady Avalon, unfortunately. Bro just wants to NP every turn. He's also got that HP draining effect, but frankly, it's not enough if you're running something like the Invincible comp to really do anything. Yeah, while I got the buff uptime, I think we just go for it. I also have that at my disposal. One of the benefits of having multiple MP levels of Squirtoria. So he does have defense, but it's just a standard defense. I think we just go for the gold here. You should just be able to kill him, and it doesn't appear that he has a guts. Yeah, nice and simple. The allies summoned when I was looking up the fight made it seem like it was going to be more difficult, but and to be fair, I think it could be because, like, for instance, if you had gotten Rogue Assassin, like someone was talking about earlier, that's Li Shuan. He can potentially death proc you. Same thing, like you'd have to be a little bit worried about Ku depending on your build because of the additional chance to instant kill there. So you got to be a little bit careful about who gets summoned here and kind of run the risk, but I do agree it's not really a hard one if you single target it. If you AoE, it definitely is going to make this a much harder battle. So if you guys are struggling with it, just go single target and should make it pretty easy to get through. Yeah, Draco would also be a good option. I got lucky I didn't get death proc. I didn't either. It is what it is. Okay. I was gonna say, is that gonna go away? All right, so that's nice. Now we got we basically are done with everything on NA, and we are in coast mode, just kind of finishing up the event in the shop, which is nice. That allows us to just focus entirely on that. We do have oh, what did I do with it? Okay, I got that. I think this is literally where we left off. Okay. That's right. We were in the Mystery House Crafters campaign. Okay, so chat, let's continue on with banner review. I know we're getting started on it really early, but there's not really anything else to do in FGO at the moment. And again, I want to get this completed so that Okayist can get it edited and get it out to you guys as fast as possible. Oh. 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 Okay. You can use Berserker Musashi with a stronger MP. And that's what I said. I think I actually did that on JP. And it worked, but it definitely made the fight harder. Yeah, we had already talked about Kazura drop. More than any gemstones in this world, the 30 million downloads campaign, and then we're on Mystery House Crafters. Okay, so Mystery House Crafters will be an event that's going to be coming to us here in November. It also has a similar like digging mechanic that is at least a like, if I remember correctly, a like miniature lotto. We do get upgrades to Burrito Mart and Super Bunyan on their Noble Phantasms and Van Gogh as well. I believe we addressed that at the end of yesterday's session. We're also going to have a welfare in this event that's not shown here, basically. But our two new units are going to be the Welfare Van Gogh Miner and Tutankhamun. So let's talk about Van Gogh Miner here. Van Gogh Miner is kind of an interesting one because I think a lot of people just did not expect this. And then even when they looked at the unit and saw the design, they were kind of underwhelmed by it. But Van Gogh Miner is a little sneaky. Now, admittedly, the devs did kind of immediately buff Van Gogh Miner. It was one of the faster buffs I've ever seen in the game, but basically, as you guys can see, she is AoE quick as a Lancer Welfare. She deals damage to all enemies. She's super effective against lawful alignment, has a 40% chance to stun, and adds the city battlefield status to the field for 5 turns. So she does at least be able to like kind of bring that field with her, which is, you know, again, a little bit of a rarity. Having that on a Welfare is certainly a nice thing, and then her overcharge is going to increase MP damage for 1 turn. But taking a look at her first skill here, it can only be used when there's 10 critical stars or more, and she'll lose those critical stars. And then she can select one of the options, which is to increase the party's quick, arts, or buster performance for 3 turns by 20%. From there, we'll also increase the party's MP generation rate for 3 turns by up to 20% as well. The second skill, she increases her own max HP for 3 turns, charges her own NP gauge by 30%. That's going to make her at least that 30% charger for fitting in nicely with someone like, say, Oberon that has 20% built in as well as 50%. She can kind of brute force loop her a little bit. But she's also going to have a critical star bomb here and then gain an additional 10 critical stars on city battlefield. So you can use this skill turn 1, or you can wait until, like, say, turn 2 after you've already Noble Phantasmed with her the first time, and it is city battlefield, to go ahead and get even more stars out of that star bomb. So it's definitely a nice thing there, as that will gain you, you know, let's say you had the skill all the way leveled up. Instead of 20 stars, that would get you 30 at that point. So it's a pretty sizable star bomb. Granted, you are dealing with quick units here, so I'm not sure you're necessarily going to need the stars that much, but it is what it is. And then originally, her third skill was just Dousing Bee, which granted herself evasion for 2 attacks, 3 turns, and increased her own critical attack chance resistance for 3 turns. That scaled up to 30%. That was kind of underwhelming. The devs pretty quickly just come back in the middle of the event and say, you know what? Yeah, it did kind of suck. Here you go. I assume this was always planned. I don't think it's them trying to like make up for designing an underwhelming unit. I think this is 100% always part of the devs like iteration, and they just decided to release the unit in an incomplete state that you could have and work on, and then, you know, further increased it. But you guys can see, basically in this case, this is where the critical stars are really going to come into play, because now she gains the effect that when there are basically a scaling amount of critical stars or more, it will increase the critical damage for 3 turns. And this does stack, basically. So it's 30% at each level, depending on the level of the skill. Assuming you have it maxed out, it's 30% at each level there. So if you have, again, 10 critical stars, that's 30%. If you have 20, that's an additional 30 for 60. If you have 30, that's an additional 30 for 90. If you have 40, that's an additional 30 for 120, and 50 all the way up to 150% extra crit damage there. So it does make her a little bit of a kind of insanely sneaky crit unit, and it does make her really pop off, especially if you're supporting her with the likes of Scotty, who's going to give various bonuses to crit damage. So you guys can see she also is actually pretty nicely kitted out deck-wise for Scotty, due to the fact that she has double buster, double quick, which means she's going to work with both iterations of her. So definitely a really, really nice one there. Obviously, as we start to consider things moving forward, you have definitely some interesting stuff with regards to like Summer Tiamat coming into the game, but I think Van Gogh Minor is still a pretty solid welfare for what she is, and definitely not somebody that you guys should look the gift horse in the mouth on. Now, Tutankhamun is another interesting one. I think there's some pretty interesting takes on Tutankhamun. He's definitely been a weird unit, I would say, over time. Now, I have on some instances found that a lot of people feel like he's completely underwhelming, and in other cases I've seen people like use him kind of again like in sneaky good situations where he's like the key to a challenge composition. So it really just kind of depends. But what's his claim to fame? We're going to start with the Noble Phantasm again. He is a single target arts archer who's 5-star. It's 5-hit single target. He deals damage to one enemy. He deals super effective damage against demonic enemies. He inflicts Curse of 1,000 damage for 5 turns and an Evil Curse status that boosts it for an additional 5 turns by 100%. He has a 100% chance to insta-kill. It's not guaranteed. It's just a higher rate. And a 500% chance to sacrifice himself. What does that mean? That means when Tutankhamun fires off his NP, he gonna die. That is his claim to fame. He is single target 5-star Arash. And that's where he's really going to see a lot of use. It's kind of sad because his damage is not the worst, so you could actually like do some interesting stuff with him, but admittedly his primary gimmick is going to be, oh, okay, I've done my job, time to get out of here and let somebody else have a crack at it. So he's going to increase his own NP damage for the overcharge effect. His first skill here is going to charge the party's NP gauge by up to 20%. It's going to increase the party's NP damage for 3 turns, also up to 20%. And then he will grant himself an on Guts activate buff for 3 turns that will gain 30 crit stars when Gut status is activated. But again, it's also going to basically grant him an on death activate buff for 3 turns as well that will gain 30 critical stars whenever he's defeated. So this is an interesting thing. It means that you can kind of try to kill him over and over again if you want. His second skill is going to increase his own arts performance for 3 turns, up to 30%, and grant himself a debuff on attack for 3 turns that inflicts Curse with 500 damage for 5 turns to an enemy when attacking, and charges his own gauge. So from there, you're going to have a 30% charge skill hit with him here. This is going to make something like mana loading really kind of important on Tutankhamun, as combining a maxed out mana loading with a 30% charge is going to be 50% right there. And then his third skill is going to grant himself Gut status 1 time 3 turns. That's going to basically allow him to withstand his Noble Phantasm's own effect. The Guts will prevent the death proc from killing him. It will kind of drain him out and act like it's going to kill him, but then the Guts will revive him. It's also going to grant himself debuff immunity for 3 turns and charge his own gauge by an additional 30%. So right there, now you have 60% baked in. Again, the mana loading is going to be 20%. You only need another 20% to get Tutankhamun to full. So it does make him an interesting unit. He's definitely somebody that I feel like has some niche uses and can still be a decent option for you as a little bit of a single target. The problem that you're going to have, again, is just that he has just the one source of Guts. So if you want him to actually stay alive for a full 3 turns, you got to have another source of Guts pretty much to keep him up. To me, though, that's not really his wheelhouse. He's not really meant to do that. But this is a very interesting character to design as a 5-star. We have memed about it for years that the devs would probably put in a 5-star Arash. And at this point, they kind of have done it. The issue about this is, and the reason we always assumed it to be a meme, is because that's a lot of party cost to be throwing on a unit that's their goal is to kind of just take out a wave and self-sacrifice themselves. So realistically speaking, there are other units that can do that, including low-star units that can get the job done. So it is kind of a little bit of an odd choice design-wise. I do find it interesting. I don't think Tutankhamun's a bad unit per se, but I do think he's a unit that people should maybe like kind of look and ask themselves, do they actually need this before they roll? Because again, I think there's going to be that issue of like, you're just not going to use him very often. So The choice is yours. I'm not going to again say he's bad, but I do think he's the epitome of a unit that you don't necessarily have to roll. Unfortunately, he is limited. I think he would be maybe even a little bit better as a permanent unit where maybe you could get spooked by him and then people would gain the benefit of kind of acquiring him without much investment. But because he's limited and you've got to kind of roll, not a whole lot that you can really do about that. It's going to make it a little bit weird for people. That is Tutankhamun and Van Gogh Minor. Taking a look real quick here at the summoning campaign that Tutankhamun's on. You do have some interesting Cs, but none of them are really going to be that good. Nothing you need to like kind of try to level up or anything like that. So to me, not that big of a deal. You also have a second banner here with Mao Nobu and Burrito Mart, and then a third campaign involving Super Bunyan and OG Van Gogh there. So definitely an interesting event in that regard. All right, then we'll get the 3,400 days anniversary. Again, just kind of more courts, so pretty much what you guys can expect in that regard. And we'll also have yet another interlude campaign. For whatever reason, it's like the devs realized, man, we have just not been doing interludes, and they kind of actually tried to give us some here in the latter half of the year. But you guys can see, we're going to get new interludes involving a Noble Phantasm interlude for Sugitani, a skill upgrade for the Trung sisters, and a skill upgrade for Zenobia there. Again, these are pretty decent buffs, and your banners will be basically the Trung sisters and Zenobia for the first one, and then Durga and Zenobia and Sugitani for the second one. So definitely an interesting campaign there, but other than, again, like the 2x super and great success chance for those involved units, it's not going to be that big of a deal unless you're somebody that just really wants to use those. December is going to roll around and we're going to get the Lost Belt 7 clear support campaign. Again, those campaigns have been very interesting, but they're mostly just designed to get you through the story. It's just going to be things like apples and mana prisms and zero cost AP. We do get a strengthening quest here for Rasputin. This is going to basically upgrade his gut status to be stackable with other guts, as well as again, kind of just his sorry, I don't know what the hell they're saying here. I'm gonna have to ask OKS to edit this part out. Because I was just sitting there reading it, I'm like, yeah, I don't actually remember what the hell they did with this. This is already stackable. So he gets the party NP damage. And this is stackable with other non-probabilistic guts. Okay. Now I got it. So basically, this upgrade is going to make it so that his gut skill is now, at least for the additional procs of it whenever he's defeated, that RNG aspect of it is stackable with other guts. So if that triggers, it won't take the use of your other guts first. It's also going to grant himself several buffs that when guts are triggered, he's basically going to increase the party's NP damage and increase his own critical damage on defense as well. So definitely an interesting upgrade to Rasputin. It does make him a little bit more usable while strengthening the niche that he already was in. The summoning campaign is going to be basically the return of a lot of the LB7 units, including other kind of guest star units like Benny Enma. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting one for sure. And then Rasputin himself will have a devoted raid up there. But again, nothing too much to write home about unless you're after specifically him. Now from there, we should probably around this time be syncing up pretty closely with JP's actual like schedule. And this is where we're going to receive our first Christmas event on December 11th. We can pretty much know that this will tie in almost exactly with JP's dates due to the fact that there is a second part to this event kind of that's going to happen after the fact. So this is going to be your Christmas lotto coming in. You're going to get 2 new servants here. Abby Williams Santa, which is going to be your welfare, and Lohi, which is going to be a new permanent SSR AoE Quick Berserker. We're going to go ahead and start off with Lohi this time, just to give you guys an idea. But basically, Lohi, as we already mentioned, is an AoE Quick Berserker with 6 hits, increases her own NP generation rate by 20% for 3 turns activating first, deals damage to all enemies, inflicts burn to them for 1,000 over 5 turns, and increases the party's NP generation rate except for herself by 20%. From there, her overcharge effect increases her own NP damage for 3 turns by a base of 20% and increases the party's NP damage except for herself by 20%. Her skills are going to allow her to add the Darkness Battlefield and increase the party's Quicken Buster performance for 3 turns by 20% each, and grant the party evasion for 1 attack 3 turns. This does give her a lot of utility and usefulness in the regard to the fact that she's going to be able to help her allies out, and this will make her good for things like the Grand Berserker duel that's going to come in the year after this. Her second skill is going to stun all enemies for 1 turn, remove their defensive buffs, assuming they are removable, and inflict poison and curse for them for 5 turns of 2,000 damage each, as well as reducing their healing received for 5 turns. When you combine that with the burn coming off the Noble Phantasm, she basically afflicts all the basic ailments right there in her kit. Her third skill is going to charge her own NP gauge by a whopping 80% if you have this skill maxed out, which does mean that if you max out her mana loading, boom, there you go. Lohi is a self-sufficient unit, able to charge herself kind of 0 to 100% just based out of her own kit. That's definitely going to make her valuable as a nuker, as a, again, like pseudo support, and as somebody that can kind of just clear a wave for you. She's also going to charge the party's NP gauge except herself here by 20%. So this, again, feeds into that pseudo support status for her and will help her out for considerations like the Berserker Grand Duel. And she's going to reduce all enemies' critical attack chance for 3 turns by a whopping 30% at max. So that will prevent a lot of enemies from being able to crit. So definitely nice in that regard. Honestly, to me, Lohi is going to be just kind of a little bit of a quality of life for your AoE quick berserkers. For those of you guys that have been using Sinoriku, she definitely is able to Black Grail loop, but she's very dependent on node structure. Lohi, just not really going to care about that sort of thing and is going to be able to do it regardless. So it's definitely a nice thing for her. And Lohi's going to be one of those units that a lot of people will be looking out to roll. That being said, Lohi is permanent. So she's one of only, I believe, 2 permanent units released this year. And she is the only 5-star who is. So that is kind of insane. And that does mean that Lohi will be pickable basically in future SSR tickets that would come beyond this. And also potentially can spook you during your roll. So it's definitely an interesting thing that they made her permanent, and a lot of people were kind of questioning why they went ahead and did that. So she's definitely a nice pickup if you've managed to ever get lucky and managed to get her. But she is going to be one of those units that, again, I think a lot of people looking forward are going to want to acquire at least that token copy of, if not higher NP levels. Now, Abby Williams Santa as our welfare is another interesting one. She's basically going to be very misunderstood. At least when she first came out on JP, she kind of was. And I think people kind of finally figured her out. She's a little bit of a hybrid unit, but she's not really going to be like somebody that super excels at anything. You got the Triple Arts deck, and she's going to kind of be a little bit of a support. You can see her Noble Phantasm is going to be a support NP. It is going to increase the value of master skills by 10% while she's on the field for 3 turns. This is really not a big deal. For instance, if you had a master skill that gave you, and master skills, by the way, are your command code skills. If you had Mystic Code, not command code. If you had a Mystic Code skill that gave you 10% attack up, increasing that by 10% would mean you got 1% attack up. So it's definitely a thing, but it's not worth usually taking an entire unit and using their Noble Phantasm just to acquire this effect. She will, however, increase the party's critical damage for 3 turns by up to 50% at NP5, which you should have due to the welfare status. She'll recover the party's HP by up to 3,000 HP at NP5, and she will drain all enemies in P gauge by 1. She's also, for her overcharge effect, going to increase the party's arts performance for 3 turns by 20%. So, how is Abby supposed to work? Well, while she is supportive, a little bit, you need to think of Abby almost like a 4-star arts version of Super Orion. Maybe even Himiko in that regard. She's a little bit of a crit monster, and you'll see what we mean. So again, she's going to, with her Noble Phantasm, increase the crit damage of the entire party by 50% for 3 turns. But if we look at her active skills here, she's also going to increase the arts performance just on cooldown for herself of 30% off this skill, and then increase her own critical damage for 3 turns by 50%. That means combining with her Noble Phantasm right there, now you've already got 100% for herself. She's going to also give herself star regen of 10 per turn, which is something, again, having access to stars is a little bit rare on arts setups, so definitely a nice thing there. Her second skill is going to increase the value of master skills while she's on the field by 20% for 3 turns. This will stack with her Noble Phantasm, meaning that you can get at least like 30% right there just off of 1 NP. She's also going to increase her own NP generation rate for 3 turns by 30%, and increase her own critical star generation rate for 3 turns by up to 100%. So again, this is sort of like the Gil Caster effect there. She's going to grant herself evasion for 2 attacks 3 turns as well to give herself a little bit of survivability. And then her third skill, she's going to charge the party's NP gauge by 20%. It's not a whole lot, but it definitely can help. She'll overcharge the party's MPs by 1 stage 1 time over 3 turns. And she'll increase the max HP of Child Servant allies for 3 turns, which she herself should qualify as. So again, she will gain the benefit of increased health for herself there of up to 2,000, plus a crit star bomb of 20. So, now you guys can see, there's a little bit of a making here of a unit that has quite a bit of crit damage, quite a bit of star generation capability, can kind of help out the party a little bit and keep them alive, still a little bit of survivability herself. But again, if you keep managing to kind of loop her and get off those Noble Phantasms, you're going to keep stacking those crit buffs and basically be able to turn her into a little bit of a monster. So she's not going to be somebody that's going to be like, say, as strong as Super Ryan, but she is kind of oddly self-sufficient and can kind of be a little bit of, again, a crit fiend there if you manage to sync up all of her buffs. So I do think that she's actually someone that's quite capable, especially with that triple arts deck there. You're going to want to focus primarily on like Mighty Chains with the arts card at the end, or again, just trying that triple arts chain off the back end of an NP. Something like that can really help her out. But yeah, I do feel like she's a unit that a lot of people probably won't use due to the carding nature of her, but she's not as bad maybe as most people thought, and she can be used a little bit as a support to some degrees. So it is what it is. I'm not going to say, again, that you have to like go through the entire lotto using her or anything like that. But yeah, Abby Williams is certainly an interesting design support that I think a lot of people overlooked. Now, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the summoning campaigns here. Lohi is going to come basically with the standard event CEs. Nothing really too much to write home about other than the debuff immunity aspect of the 5-star CE here. And as we move through, the second banner is going to be Seatonai with Daiko Kuten. The third banner is going to be Reigns and Wu. And the fourth banner here is going to be the return of kind of a few units, including Hokusai, OG Abby, and then both versions of Lancelot, as well as Don Quixote and Chevalier de Eon. So certainly an interesting group of summoning campaigns, but I did mention that this is a lottery. So what's going to be in the lotto boxes for you guys is actually going to be your LB3 Bells, your LB2 Aurora Steel, your 6.5 Urn of Ashes, your basically cerebrospinal fluid, and fangs. So it'll definitely be another lotto that you guys may be, curious to farm a bunch, as well as the fact that there will be an exchange ticket. And this exchange ticket will be a little bit important because not only will you have the Fruit of Longevity from LB5, the lamps as well, and the Black Beast Greased and Giant Rings, you'll also have the inclusion of the Ether Photon Convergers from Ordeal Call 1 in this list. So that's actually going to help some of you guys out that maybe haven't been farming the Ether Convergers. So definitely another nice thing and aspect to this, and each box will have at least 2 of those tickets in it. So definitely an easy way to get yourself a lot of rewards from this lotto. But if you thought that was all, guess what? On the back end of this event, pretty much Christmas Day all the way through the New Year's here, you're going to have the Space Phantasm Moon event. And what is this event? Well, it's a raid. So you're going to have more farming to do after you're farming. Admittedly, this was one of the things I wasn't a huge fan of this one. It was certainly nice of them to do this, but I have 2 major complaints, and they will absolutely carry over to NA, because unfortunately, with every event that we have ever had, this has also been the problem, because basically the NA server is run by the West Coast, which means everything operates on West Coast time. Therefore, that means that the raids will come out at times that are very terrible, probably, for just about everybody that doesn't live on the West Coast. That's a bad thing. The good news is the raids were dying super fast on JP, so the devs had to actually increase the health values multiple times of these raids. So I'm going to wager that they will either just go ahead and start out at the increased value, or that the devs on the NA side of things will increase them up. If they don't, there will be naturally complaints there, and that'll be something that the devs will have to deal with. But again, the timing of this event's pretty piss poor, with it being during the Christmas season already to begin with. Putting raids at odd hours of the night is not something that people are going to want to do, and it just will end up being a little bit of a problem. On top of that, you're also going to be needing to roll out your lotto boxes during that time period, so it's certainly not the best. That being said, the raids basically don't last the entire time. You definitely see that, again, the raid quest got extended to January 3rd, so it should be after the turn of the year. You should have plenty of time to roll out your lotto boxes, at least kind of beforehand, and that would be my advice to you guys. But if you're still lagging on that and you're still trying to get the job done, again, it is what it is. Still, there should be, again, some nice event reward CEs in there, as well as event bonus units. But the big one that we're going to talk about here is going to be Phantasm Moon, who will be the featured limited servant of this event. Now, Phantasm Moon is another version of Arcuage. She's a what if, and I'm not going to spoil the lore there. It's something that you guys will have to go read Nasu's own words on. But basically, Phantasm Moon is going to be a single target Buster Pretender. And that's definitely an interesting one. She only has the 2 Buster cards in her deck, basically, to combine with her Noble Phantasm in order to get a triple Buster loadout. But it is an interesting deck, to say the least. So let's go ahead and let's start off with the Noble Phantasm again. She's a 5-hit single target Buster NP. It's going to deal damage to one enemy, and then seal their NP for 1 turn, and also increase her own extra attack performance by 50% for 1 turn. You'll definitely want to Brave Chain with Phantasm Moon if possible. The Overcharge effect is going to deal extra damage to enemies that are evil alignment, so super effective, 150% base, but it scales with Overcharge rate. She's going to charge her own NP gauge after the fact by a base of 20%, all the way up to a maximum of 40%. She He has that saber face-like effect there, confirming that Arcuate is in fact a saber. I'm just kidding. Charges the NP gauge of living human allies, except for herself as well, by an additional 20% there too. She can be used as a little bit of a support in that regard. Her first skill is going to charge the party's NP gauge by 30%. So right off the bat, just with her skill, you can get 30% party-wide charge there. And that's certainly something to consider for supportive purposes, because obviously we have units like Merlin now that will have the 30% charge. You have Koyan Sky of Dark, but now you've got Phantasm Moon kind of coming into this exact same niche as well. And again, considering that the Noble Phantasm, if you're a living human ally, is going to charge you by an additional 20%, that makes her a 50% party charger in certain cases. She's also going to overcharge the party's NPs by 1 stage, 1 time, 3 turns, and that'll include herself. She'll get the benefit of increased charge rates and things like that. It'll at least bump her up to 25% on each of those after NP refunds. Her second skill is where things get kind of spicy. So she's going to increase her own arts performance for 3 turns and buster performance for 3 turns by 30% each. And she is going to change her own extra attack to hit all enemies on 3 turns. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, whenever we get an extra attack, and any attack really that gets turned into AoE, usually what happens is they have the damage on it. You guys remember the effect of the Noble Phantasm is going to be that it will increase the extra attack performance by 50%? Yeah, it's basically just going to reverse the effect of cutting it down by half and making it almost normal carding damage. But if that weren't all, this skill will also increase her own extra attack performance for 3 turns by a whopping 100%. You're going to come out way better. Her extra attack's going to hit way harder and hit everybody. Plus, you're also going to still have the potential with append skills to further boost her extra attack performance. Does impact extra attack damage. So there's quite a bit of capability there. And then on top of that, she's going to charge her own gauge by 20%. So if you guys remember, the first one was a 30% party charge. The second one is a 20% self-charge. So that makes her a 50% charging unit. And again, these skill cooldowns are here such that you can work with this in a double Koyan Skya setup. Even with the 7-turn cooldown on the first skill, you're still going to have the 5th append as an option for reducing that. Her third skill is going to gain her critical stars, increase one ally's critical star absorption for 3 turns by a whopping 5,000%. This is enough to make every single class in the game capable of soaking stars, including things like Avenger and Berserker. And she's going to grant one ally a critical star regeneration buff for 3 turns of up to 15 stars per turn. She'll also increase the party's attack and critical damage for 3 turns by 20 and 30% respectively. So yeah, Phantasm Moon hits hard, charges the party a ton, and helps support the party quite a bit as well. So yes, Phantasm Moon, a very, very strong pickup, especially if you feel like you need a good single target pretender. I feel like she's going to be kind of the sort of bar to surpass at this point for quite a while, and it definitely shows with the way that they have designed her. So they pulled a sneaky one by throwing in kind of space Arcuate in there in the background of this event, but it certainly was a interesting phenomenon to do. Now, for Phantasm Moon's banner, she'll actually come with a fairly good 5-star CE. This one's going to be Blessings of the Holy Knight. It's going to be all attack scaling, and it will ignore invincibility, increase buster performance, and critical damage as well. At MLB, the buster performance up will be 5%, and the critical damage will be 20%. So quite a bit of capability there if you just need somebody that, or something that has Invuln Pierce. But still, that's going to be the final event of the year. As I mentioned before, the raid quest will definitely be something you guys will want to look out for and farm some if you can. It is meant to, as they put it in their terms, bring in the new year. So that's certainly going to be something to look forward to. But we're not done yet, because I started this banner review basically kind of a little bit later in January is what normally happens. The initial things of January happen first before I ever get to review them. We're going to start talking about real quick here, January of 2025, aka 2027 on NA. So the New Year's campaign here that you guys are going to want to look at is, again, going to have a summoning campaign for Richard the Lionhearted. Richard's going to be your New Year's unit. He's certainly going to be interesting because, again, he's going to get paired alongside a lot of these other New Year's units, but he's definitely coming into the game as a unit that has quite a bit of potential, but also is kind of coming into one of the most competitive sectors in terms of units in the entire game. What do I mean? He's going to be an AoE buster saber. And because of that, you're going to already have a ton of people that already have somebody to compete with Richard on. On top of that, Richard, frankly speaking, damage-wise, does not hold up well against some of the other units, including Lord Logress, who comes out later that year. So it's definitely an interesting thing that they've done here, where Richard comes out a little bit too early for Strange Fake. And that's why I am anticipating, and this may happen and come to pass in the time that this video gets released, but I'm anticipating that Richard's going to get some sort of Noble Phantasm interlude or some sort of increase in damage. Because right now, he doesn't really hang with a lot of the upper echelon of Saber units. He's not bad, to say the least. He's certainly competitive with some of them, but the units he's competitive with also probably need a buff due to the upgrades that have happened to the likes of Salter and Artoria over time. So it's definitely an interesting situation. Now, again, Richard himself, he is an AoE buster, Noble Phantasm. He's going to increase his own critical damage by 50% for 3 turns before his damage goes out. He's going to deal damage to all enemies and then inflict burn of 2,000 damage over 5 turns to them. His overcharge effect will reduce all enemies' quick arts and buster resist down by 10%, so he gets a little bit of follow-up damage no matter what cards he chooses there. His first skill is going to increase the party's attack for 3 turns by 20%, making it just a very solid charisma. It's also going to increase the party's NP generation and critical star generation rates by 20% each, and then grant himself an on-attack activate buff that will increase his own critical star generation rate by 30% for 3 turns when he attacks. This will make him a little bit of a crit star generating fiend. The issue here is, again, that Buster is so awash with crit stars in most of its compositions. We really just don't feel the need to actually care too much about that. His second skill increases his own quick arts and bust performance each 3 turns by an additional 20%, and is going to increase his own NP damage for 3 turns by 30%. It's also a targeted skill that will reduce one ally skill cooldowns by 1. The thing about this is, you're probably going to want to put this on Richard himself anyways, just to help accelerate his skills and get more firepower out of him faster. So from here, he can charge his own NP gauge on his third skill by up to 30%. This does make him a 30% charger, which means that you can pair this with mana loading and get 50% charge out of him. He's going to increase his own critical star absorption rate for buster cards and critical damage rate for buster cards for 3 turns by 500% on the absorption and 50% on the critical damage at max rank, and then gain 20 crit stars for himself. So again, critical stars will just kind of flow out of Richard. That's not going to be the issue. And if you are taking him outside of your generic farming composition, you can absolutely do some interesting stuff with him. But it does put him in an interesting spot. He doesn't really have a true niche. He's not got some sort of place that he's going to excel in damage over just about anybody else, other than maybe crit efficiency. But in the likes of that, he is competing with the likes of Mordred and other units that are also kind of maybe a little bit more in need of an upgrade. So Richard comes out. He's very hyped when he does. Everyone's excited because of Strange Fake possibly coming in the future, but now we know that Strange Fake was still basically a year away, so seems almost like Richard was released a little bit too early, but who knows, maybe they'll give him an upgrade, and maybe by the time that happens, NA will be able to roll, and you'll be thinking a lot better about Richard at that point. Now, for the rate-up craft essences that are going to appear on the New Year's campaign, Halo of the Dawn is actually pretty nice. It's going to be basically all attack scaling, have at MLB NP gauge of 5% every turn, arts performance up of 8%, and overcharge the NP by 2 stages for 1 time. The overcharge effect is certainly a limited aspect to this, but the 5% charge per turn and 8% arts up definitely is nice on a support unit, particularly a support caster like Castoria or Tamamo, you name it. There's definitely some interesting possibilities there for not only getting them that charge per turn, but also getting them the increased card efficiency and capability. Now, it's New Year's, so we have to actually mention this, but there will be a GSSR. And this GSSR on the upcoming New Year's is going to be significant. This will be the first time that the developers will ever let us choose from 2 banners out of the 35 different pools that will be here. That's right, you won't just have 1 GSSR choice, you can choose 2. So while there won't be a Destiny order pick here, you can do the GSSR twice. Now, you will have to pay both times if you want to do it twice, but it is an interesting thing. It's going to cost you the same 15 paid quartz as it normally does. Keep in mind that does not include free quartz or bonus quartz. Both of those are treated as free. Paid quartz only for that sort of thing. But again, if you're going to spend any money on the game, usually the best time to do it is on the GSSRs. That's where you're actually going to get the best bang for your buck. Unfortunately, Richard himself, who is a new unit, Space Ereshkigal and Draco as the 2 beast units will not be available in this GSSR. That's just been how they've been rolling with the beast units, unfortunately. So it just is what it is. But you guys can see there's quite a bit of capability. Things are going to be split up in a way that should be pretty interesting because you're going to obviously have female units and male units, each with their own pools. Obviously, there'll be some gender neutral people, but then you're going to have them grouped by their card type effectively. So it's definitely an interesting thing to see how they do this. This will allow you to have pretty small pools and have some pretty awesome capabilities here for trying to isolate good units. That means that several of these pools will be very good for you guys to choose. I'm not going to render judgment on them just yet because, again, this is pretty far away in the future. And by the time we get to this, I'll probably be making a video on it myself. So that will be your GSSRs there. And we've got one last thing to kind of mention here, and that's going to be very quickly in January. You will also have the Evocation Festival for the New Year's campaign. This one is going to be basically Evo Fest Part 9. And it's going to be significant because you're going to have the ability to finally re-get all of the Valkyrie Assassin Welfare units, as well as, again, Utsumi Eris and her AoE Arts Lancer capacity. And then finally, last but not least, Kichi Hogan, who is also another quick AoE looping assassin. So definitely interesting lineup there. But again, the Valkyries are going to be the star of this one. You're absolutely going to want to pick them up if you don't already have them. And it will also be the time that you will finally be able to acquire any of the missing Valkyries that you didn't get the first time around. The banner for this will be including Tyra no Kagekiyo and Brynhildr alongside Voyager and Kijo Koyo. So definitely an interesting one there. And there will also be a pretty interesting CE alongside the Kagekiyo raid up, which is going to be basically the quick arts and buster up with overcharge, all attack scaling CE. No starting charge there. Also, the Brynhildr raid up will also have another one that's basically all attack scaling with Twin Tail called, that's going to have buster performance, critical damage, and overcharge as well. And then last but not least, the Voyager raid up will have one called Mission Start. And this one will be the one that I think a lot of people will have interest in, simply because at MLB, not only will it be all attack scaling, it'll have 50% charge, it'll have crit damage, arts, and quick performance up of 10% each. So certainly a nice effect to have on a CE for you guys. But again, that's where I feel like we will end the banner review. I just kind of wanted to quickly address some of the stuff that happens there really quick. But that next year will be a very interesting one because you'll start getting the grand duels. You'll start headed towards the finale for part 2. And certainly there will be a whole lot of farming opportunities that next year. So use this year to get the units that you guys need, because next year you're going to get a banner for literally everyone multiple times. And it's going to make it very difficult to try to kind of get things set up because your courts is going to be strained from all of the options available to you. So plot out your roles. Make sure you guys are, again, doing your due diligence on which units you want, which units you feel like you need. And remember, you don't have to roll any unit in this game. You can beat this game with just about anybody. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support as always. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys for the next one. Thank you. Okay. My voice. Ah. Okay. So that was all of banner review, chat. I did have a cheat sheet over here on the side with all of my stuff that I needed to mention. So it was a thing. But that's kind of why I used the cheat sheet. I felt like it kept me way more on task and like kind of focused on this one so that we didn't waste time. We didn't bloat the video too much. The video should be, you know, when everything's pared down, probably about like, I don't know, somewhere in the realm of like 2 to 3 hours. But that's way better than in the past where I've had like 4 3-hour videos that, you know, included just me going like numb vocally. That's always a good idea to have. Yep. Sushi surprised me? Huh? Summer Musashi or Summer Ushi? Unfortunately, when people say sushi, I'm not sure what they mean at this point. Because my brain thinks, sushi. Right? I think Christmas Abbey really needs a buff. Christmas Abbey was disjointed. I called her one of the worst welfares I had ever seen when she came out, but on using her and on like thinking about it more, I realized like she's actually not that bad. It's just she's a play style that most players don't want to do. And that's really all it is. Like, because of that, there's going to be a lot of people that just kind of choose not to, right? And so they're always going to feel like Summer Ushi is just not a good unit. For me personally, I don't think she's bad, but I also feel like in a weird way, it's like, one, you don't have to use her. Two, it's a weird choice for a welfare because I'm not sure that like people necessarily want that. That being said, she does at least have that healing capability. That's something that I feel like a lot of welfares maybe don't have. So it is a nice thing. Are the male summer costumes coming back in the Valkyries one? Let me see. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. It's here. Oh, I forgot the Kichi Hogan upgrade. Nope. Don't look like it. Now, what you do get is you do get the ability to unlock the alternate forms for every one of the Valkyries. And this is actually the start, because the next year when they do Evocation Festival chat, just FYI, let me see if I can find it real fast. I love that it gives me the base one and then it's not the first result. So chat. Did I? Okay, I was gonna say, did I close it? Basically, 9 is the start of next year. Okay, so prior to this, we've had like 2 years of Evocation Festivals. We've basically gotten like 3 to 4 a year. Okay, 9 is the start, and we go from like 9 to 14 in 1 year. Like, did chat notice how there's like 3 and then 4 and then 3 and then 3 and then 4 and then 3 and then 4 and then 4 and then 5, technically, and then 4 and then 3 and then 3, and then these last 2 are just 3? It's because they're out of welfares, and they haven't put very many new welfares in. Like, literally from this point on, there's a run, and they basically get every single missing welfare to you. I think there's like 1 or 2 we don't have. So it's like, yeah, they, at this point, like with where JP is at, chat, you can play the game almost entirely on like welfares. Like, assuming that you have at least like used your SSR tickets and stuff like that. Like, it's very, very good, the situation that JP's at for that. Got to get them out for grands. Yep. Our assassin archer lady is in there. Who's Psycho? Psycho's right here. And Evo Fest 11. God, I'm blind. No, it's all good. I mean, like, look, I'm sure it's also smaller on your screen, right? Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I'd literally have to look. Hold on. I think Avalon sent me the list of welfares the other day, which makes it so much easier to... Yeah, there you go. Free servants. I can never remember what they refer to it as. So, basically, let's look at event reward servants, right, chat? So... Oh my god. I keep trying to write on the screen, but I don't have my writing tool enabled, so that's why that keeps happening. We have that. Actually, let's just scroll to the end, because I'm pretty sure it's only the ones at the end that we don't have. We don't have Elizabeth of the End. We don't have Harada Sanosuke. We don't have Huyanjo Berserker. Everybody else we have. So it's only the last 3 welfares, all of which basically came out in the last year. So they haven't even been gone a year, chat. Right? They haven't even been gone a year. And those are the only ones that are missing. The last 6 months? Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah, this was summer. This was the Gouda Gouda event. And this was the Halloween event. Yeah, so literally, like... This is like 3 months ago. This is like... Wait. Yeah. This is like 4 months ago. And this is like 5 months ago. So, what is FOMO, chat? I don't know. Probably have them unless you just started last month, right? Like, You would have had to have started in the last 3 months to not have one of those. Good question. Over the last year, what Cs were worth leveling or that you leveled yourself? I'll be honest, I don't level Cs that often anymore. It's rare that they give us one that's like actually worth. And admittedly, my JP account doesn't do a whole lot with that. If you're talking like NA, NA is like the reverse problem where I have already so much stuff leveled that I rarely need to level anything else. Fear of missing out, yes. I had to explain FOMO to my girlfriend the other day. And I wasn't like, I think she already knew what it was, but I wasn't sure, so I did it anyways. What's up, Civic? Top 3 welfares? God, that's so hard. Honestly, and the reason that I struggle with a question like that is I'm sure there are other people that would answer that question and they would try their honest best to do so, but they would inevitably give you like probably a very biased answer. The reason I can't tell you what the top 3 best welfares are is because there is a best welfare for every class. So it's more like, what's the best 7 base class welfares plus extra class welfares? And then there's still some other considerations of like people that do really unique things. So it's like, it's such a loaded question, basically. FOMA is Florida man on mini opioids, yeah. Thank you for the anonymous gifter to Jay. And also, I don't know if I saw it, but Yakamo, thank you for the 63. And Menos, thank you for the 83. And L-Dubs, thank you for the 37. What? How did I miss you guys subbing? I don't know. Forgive my blindness, chat. Do we have to make one servant a grand no matter what to progress the story? Oh, no. Technically. I mean, you'll want to anyways. Remember, grand doesn't have to be 120. Grand can just be 100, so. But the game's going to get a whole lot easier if you make grands. The game will get a whole lot harder if you don't. Do you think there'll be a chance of getting an event featuring the Tamamo 9? Eventually, yeah. They need to bring back all the Idol and Summer costumes in Miss Crane's shop. They need to bring back Idol and Summer costumes, period. Even if it's old. It can also be new. Solomon is welfare, he's free after all. Yeah, I mean, he's technically a welfare. So chat, for reference though, I am currently under like the quote unquote free servants from events, not story reward servants. Solomon will not appear in an evocation festival. And the reason why is because you must unlock him. Like, that is just, that's your issue right there. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. True. Solomon is also like MASH where you can't burn him. Yeah. He's already in the shop on his release, right? Which is fine. Ronnie win? Yeah. I don't know. I think like this sort of stuff is fine, but I'm very happy that they kind of got off their ass and gave us all of the stuff. My hope is that they like continue to go back and give us the missing events for like main interludes, and same thing with like missing craft essences. To me, once those come in, this game's fine for like new players. They just probably need to do something about the onboarding where like new players should not have to play through all the story. And I know that's a controversial opinion because there's a lot of people that love the story for FGO, myself included, that like if you say that, some people are going to be like, no, CAD, they have to read everything. And I'm like, I agree they should. I agree that story is what keeps people playing this game and is ultimately what drives the game. But I also completely understand how annoying it is to like have to spend months doing story to get caught up. And it's like just not fun for anyone. So it's like I think they need to have a better like start point. Everything is a novel series at this point, yeah. Well, I know girlfriend was asking like how long would it take to read through the entire story of FGO, and I was like, oh, I was like, how many hours you want to read a night? Because it's like, it's one of those problems of like, yeah, if you're actually reading it, it's going to take you a while. Will they bring back Alice banner in the future for NA? I want to save the most Saint Courts for the 3 summer servants. Yeah, there'll be other banners for Alice. But that logic lock story should be periodically unlocked for the sake of clearing, even if out of order. I don't know about that. What I'm proposing is that, like, let's say you have like part 1 and part 2, and as we know it right now, part 1 leads to part 2, and part 2 leads to functionally part 3, if there is a part 3. We still don't know. People keep saying it's confirmed, but it's technically not. So what I want to see is like, just let us start with part 3. Like, if you're a new player coming into the game, package up part 1 and part 2, put them in a nice little neat box and say, that's great. That's still there. You guys should go do that. And if you do it, you have to do it in order. But if you want to like get caught up to end game, start in part 3. And I feel like that works. And then like start basing all of your events on like part 3 requirements instead of part 1 and part 2. It'd go a lot faster without the gameplay breaking it up. I mean, it certainly would, right? But it still would take you forever to read through everything. Like, legitimately, there have been times that I've just sat there, like, reading for, like, an hour just to get to, like, a new node. It took me 2 days just to read OC2, no gameplay, yeah. I usually skip Lotto Story until after the event, and then I go back and read it. How can they handle part 3 challenging fights and stuff? You do 2 versions. You do a story version, and you do a hard mode. And hard mode's where all the veteran players come in from part 2. Story mode is where all of the like new players start. And then eventually you scale up story mode to meet. Please, no spoilers about part 2, chat. Should dailies be turned into lotto nodes with limited clears per day? Dailies be turned into lotto nodes with limited clears per day? No. Why do you want limited clears per day on your dailies? I mean, that's what we have right now with Bleached Earth anyways. Have you already finished the story for JP? Yes. I'd support those two versions, yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's like, I think just being realistic, like giving a new onboarding point for new players will allow new players to come into the game. Otherwise, the longer the game goes on and the more like point A to point B the story is, the longer it takes new players to catch up and the more frustrated they will get. And they will quit the game because of stuff like that. And then people will be like, oh, but you know, we don't care. We didn't want people like that. It's like, yeah, but then the game dies. Like, you gotta have new people coming in to replace people that are quitting if you don't want the game to die. Surprised Microsoft hasn't seen them. Yeah, Hytale. All right, chat wants to see Hytale. Let's go ahead and switch gears. So chat, Hytale is in early access. It is basically, how do I put it? It is basically Minecraft with a couple of notable differences. One, so far it seems to have almost all of the basic functionality of Minecraft. Two, there is character customizer and creator. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do if you want. But there's also much more of a focus on what I would say is like the RPG side of things. So like, for instance, there are simplistic weapons that each have a like special ability. There are, and you won't be able to see it because it's going to be right behind me on the interface, but let me see if I can turn. So this button right here, the Q button, is your special ability, and it charges up as you like damage enemies. But right now, I'm actually in a weird spot because all of my shit's broken and the repair tools are god-awful in this game. That's one thing that I really hope that they fix very quickly. Needs a booba slider? I mean, it is 3D. I'm sure some modder will put that in chat. While also increasing your hitbox. I need tree trunks! There we go. So again, very, very similar, like, mechanically to Minecraft. Basically, if it functions in a certain way in Minecraft, odds are it functions the same way here, which is kind of funny. As chat's already put it, it's like, I don't know how they haven't been sued either, but they're not, so it be what it be. I finally made myself a copper sword to replace my shitty crude sword. I don't know if there's much of a difference. Probably the only difference is durability. But I was also trying to collect and gather, where was it? Yes, the linen scraps, which I finally have enough of. I need copper ingots. And ironic ingots. I'm going to pull the iron out there. Because basically you have to upgrade your workbenches. So the thing I need now is I need copper. I also don't know what works as the best fuel. I've just been throwing logs in, but I threw sticks in and it was kind of oof. Wait. Yeah, I don't have any copper in there. There's 3 there. This will make like 20 something. Wait, sorry. So that's 5. 15 is 20. So I already have enough there. Plus an additional 23. Does appear like it's becoming night. And as it becomes night, monsters will come out. Let me see if I can turn the music volume up a little. Because the music's actually really chill in this game. You can replant trees, but I haven't done too much with farming yet. I was kind of trying to experiment with water and building source blocks and such. More customization and hookers. I mean, to be fair, what Hytale feels like is it feels like, again, like when Minecraft first started coming out with villages, but then they didn't really do anything on that side of things. Hytale feels like they went further down that route. It's the what if Minecraft had kept going and developing stuff. And that's kind of what I like about it, honestly. It feels to me it's like the spiritual successor to Minecraft rather than a Minecraft clone. Now, we'll see how much they develop it and what they give us, but that is, to me, what it's feeling like. Yeah, I wish I could, like, turn fir logs into, like, lumber or something. It looks like a Minecraft mod. Minecraft plus Conan Exiles, kind of. I would say it's more like Minecraft plus Valheim, a little bit, is what it feels like so far. There's definitely some survival aspects, but some of the survival stuff is not, like, in the game yet. Like, for instance, there is no, like, food or water requirement. It's literally just, like, health. And you can eat food to restore health. That's really all it is. Okay, so we gotta wait on 11 more of that. I wish I had access to... Wait. No way, like, charcoal burns, right? Yeah, I can't seem... I don't know what charcoal's used in yet. I gotta upgrade these workbenches to get some idea. Used to shear sheep and harvest various foliage. Watered crops grow 2 times faster. Yes. What did I need to make myself another wooden chest? Any tree trunk. Need 10 of them. Good God, man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So I can already tell the copper sword's dealing way more damage. So it looks like not only is it a durability increase, but it's also going to be a damage increase. Oh! Yeah. So I do have a shield equipped. A little bit difficult to see, but there you go. I feel like the doors are a little wonky to open and close at the moment, too. I do have my crude hoe somewhere. Bone fragments, interesting. Wonder if I'm going to be able to do something with them. Should probably craft myself a bow, but I really just need the box here for the space. Oh, okay, so it widens. I think it does that effect in Minecraft as well. Sounds like I'm out, so I'm just gonna throw some sticks in here, turn that shit back on. Have you tried something called Lord of Mysteries? Chinese novel? No. What's it about? Okay, that should be enough. I should be able to upgrade this. Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on, let's turn that back on. Okay, so now we can upgrade our workbench. Thorium. I haven't found thorium yet. What did that do? Again, the repair kits are just kind of nasty. You need light leather iron ingots. And they still lose max durability. I don't like this system. I get there's a whole durability argument, but I'm like, this feels so prohibitively costly. I need to build the salvager's workbench, I think, next. This is my next major goal. And again, there are various weapons. So there's swords, maces, battle axes, daggers, and bows. There's different variants of it. My chest has 0 durability left? What the hell? Meanwhile, my shield doesn't look like it even has durability to begin with. Which, kinda whack if that's the case. Azure logs. I'm gonna make a diamond pickaxe, right? No, but I do think I need more pants. Go. And I probably need to start working on farming. Wait. Did it get rid of my... I think it did. There we go. Now it at least is eye-pleasing. I technically placed them the wrong direction, and I'm too lazy to, like, dismantle them and pick them back up. Also, as far as I can tell, there's no downside to being, like, stuck outdoors. Losing durability every time you die. That is a setting that you can turn off with the server. And I may do that, but it just kind of sucks. Total domination of the underground regions is that they have yet to understand what this tool is. Interesting. But I think when it becomes daytime, I'm gonna venture out, but it only looks like we're halfway through night, which is kind of wild. And my copper pickaxe broke as well. Do need to replace that. I need a tree trunk. This whole plateau used to be forested, but I kind of got rid of some of it. Mostly just due to the fact that, like, again, I've had to get a whole bunch of logs. And I don't really feel like it's doing much for me. Gonna put the copper pickaxe away just so we don't have to deal with it. Again, like, there's no point to me in repairing these. I think the durability of them is either set too low or the repair tool is way too expensive to craft. And the devs just need to decide what they want to do with that. Like, again, you can see. Can't put that back in. I guess any charcoal I take out has to sit there. I've also started to tunnel downward, but again, similar situation. I'm just not sure about, like, about how far down you need to go. In order to start reaching actual resources. Something too deep. Oh yeah. We make an underground base so you don't keep going up and down all the time. I mean, you certainly can. But similar to Minecraft, stuff does spawn at night. I have no idea if it gets worse over time. I certainly hope not. But you can see I don't like my tunnels to be claustrophobic, so I definitely put in the extra time and effort to make them too wide and several tall. But you can see, behold, look at all of this digging I've done, and yet my copper pickaxe is already like half dead. And I haven't found a single resource down here yet. So I am a little bit beginning to wonder, like, is there a point to going down? Oh, what is that? Wait, cheese? So line of sight is definitely a thing in the game. Enemies that can't see you will not attack you. There you go, that was my special move. And he's dead. And I was gonna say, is that all he dropped? But I don't know what a void heart is. Some of this stuff, it's definitely gonna be like usable materials. I don't know what it's used in. That makes any sense. As you can see, I do have Essence of the Void from killing some of them. Oh, Aurora Borealis chat, I think. Moon's almost down, so almost nighttime over. Do some night exploration. See what I'm dealing with. Oh, those are heckin' Borkers, chat. Ow. The other heckin' worker go. Chat, do you like my fish? This time of year? This time of day? Yes. Okay, pretty sure it is now daylight. Means no new enemy spawns, and there shouldn't really be anything other than natural wildlife. Wolves, unfortunately, are natural wildlife, as you can see right over there. But I think we're going to go back to the starter zone, because I feel like there's stuff that I've missed. It's interesting to denote that you can kind of just shift and you will sprint over, like, stuff. Like, I'm not pressing jump there. Oh, there's a grizzly. Also Yetis, chat. Oh. Well, I'm here as well. I'm gonna fill up a bucket of water. Snake. Is that a yak? They look peaceful. They're not charging me. Why is the iron up there? I fell. Help me! Eh. Ow! I'm just trying to get iron, chat. That's all I want. Can't blame me. Ah. Oh. I got a sapphire. Whoops. Oh, jackpot. That's right, we mine in chat. Well, this at least confirms that there is stuff underground. You just have to find one of these places. Yeah, I would really like to not fall down there. I think we'll leave that. Like a demon hell pig thing? Oh god! Oh no! You dug too deep, chat. Okay. far as I'm concerned, this is just a fantastic ore run right now. This is definitely not where I came in. But 'tis where I shall come out. Okay, so base is up there. Ugh. Wait, what happened? I almost died. It was close. I saw my life flash before my eyes. You know, the usual. Oh, it's sheep. Okay, now I know where sheep are. That's a good thing. Assuming monsters in the night don't slaughter them all. Small ancient chest. Lettuce seeds. Aspen logs. A rusty steel halberdier. Sweet. Oh, did I get a hatchet from him? I think I did. Health potion. Stamina potion. Copper greaves. Free chesticles. Sweet. You can climb ladders in this game? Actual beds. Okay, ain't no way I'm missing out on that. Feel like I don't need a crude wardrobe, but I'm gonna take it for now. So the thing we're gonna drop is... Wow. Guess I can't pick up 2 beds. Somebody built a wizard tower. A chair. Yeah, you could do anything with a chair. You could, like, sit. Out of a beach. Yeah, you can also mantle in this game, which is really nice in my opinion. Is that a turkey? Huh. Mark it and then take the other one with you. I mean, it's all good. I'm just gonna keep the one. Sun's almost down, but we still got some time. Oh, feathers. Just have a massive problem. Oh, he's a cute little meese. Yeah, you thought. Ow. What? Oh, I'm poisoned. Okay. I was like, what the hell? What's damaging me? Graphics look better than Minecraft. It's clearly a more powerful engine that they like have chosen to aesthetically make look like Minecraft. That's a fox. What does the fox say? Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, nothing up here. See, because, like, I'm supposed to find the Forgotten Temple to learn more, chat. I don't know where the Forgotten Temple is. Because I guess I forgot. Oh lord, he's exploring. Same. Other than the mobs, is there a meaningful difference from Minecraft so far? Yeah, the combat. Like, again, I can block. I actually have a special move that I can do. There's more RPG aspects to it. At least I think. I don't know if they put in, like, actual leveling and experience in this. I know it was a thing they've talked about. I don't know if it's in the early access for right now. For sure you could block in Minecraft. Oh, yeah. Oh, no fall damage, please. Oh, that's a bear. That's a big-ass bunny. Oh, shit. So that's the special ability that I have. Unfortunately, because I didn't use it, it went away. Yeah, no, I'm kind of afraid of being down in here. Got him! Not really seeing anything of value in this base. That's the unfortunate side of this. There's finally an ancient chest. Damn, I can't take the iron ore. Oh, you can climb vines. Yo, wait, how do I get down? Okay. It's like, oh, hey, you can do that. Oh, shit. What? Damn. Yeah, vine climbing's kind of jank. Ooh, carrot seeds. Damn, I really want that if I can. I think we're gonna switch the medium hide for medium leather. I'm gonna switch the raw meat for carrot seeds. Because there was another medium leather there. So now I get 2 for the price of 1. Okay, so there's nothing on the ground floor of this. There is a chest there in the middle, I think. Bro, is that like 3 of them? That is like 3 of them. Fajuck that. We gotta go up here, so we're traveling through the swamp for a bit. Unfortunately, the swamp has bears. So I'm pretty sure everywhere has bears. Like a treehouse? The hell? What the? Bro, what? Oh my god. It's like a springboard. Like a whole ecosystem up here. Oh god. I like the music for the game. Ah, Forgotten Temple Gateway. Maybe that's where I needed to go. I am surprised though. The enemies when you're out and about at night don't seem that bad. I thought they'd be way more like harassing and annoying. But they pretty chill. Okay. Oh yeah, I think you can sleep at night. Similar to Valheim, and it'll turn it to day. There we go. I forgot you could do that. I would have done that earlier otherwise. I'm definitely trying to create a, like, source block of water here as well. I just don't remember how the hell you do it. I remember you have to have, like, water flowing into a square from, like, multiple sides. But I haven't been able to recreate the effect. Yeah. Okay. Dump that in there. There's so much crap. Oh, yeah, so this wasn't worth it after all. You can't do anything with it, unfortunately. But I can make myself a salvage thingy doober. I want the salvage thingy doober. Okay, that doesn't help. The raw materials you can't do anything with. Okay. Got free iron ore out of that at least. Means now I can probably salvage all that shit. I think it's just bugging out because it didn't have any room. Two by two with a water source block both corners diagonal? Wait, what do you mean? So, like, could I make this the water source? Hmm. Oh wait, no, you're saying 2x2, so basically 4 blocks. Okay, so let's try it this way. Stay there. Well, that behaves exactly like I expect water in this game to. Yeah, that didn't work. So I wonder if this game doesn't allow you to make source blocks. Which if so, oof. Fill each square, it would defeat the point. Your whole point is basically to try to create something. Like, see, I can't make a cauldron to drip water into. What do you mean? Because if you fill each square with a source block, chat, you just pick up the source block again. So it does kind of defeat the point. I don't get that. Ah, okay. The ground unhoed itself, chat. That's what you get for that hoe-ass ground. I need that iron ingot. Should switch over to the left side. Nope. Okay, fine. I'll pull it out. I don't think I can do that. Oh my god, there was not enough. The fact that I was able to burn that stupid cabinet. Huh. You can burn plant fiber. Not a great use of it, but I literally just needed one. Also, holy shit, that watering can degrades way too fast. I barely used it. I watered 6 things, and it's already lost like 20% of its health. Like, holy shit, game. Like, you know you got problems when it's degrading that fast. Capture crate. I need 50 Essence of Life? What the fuck? Same thing for a fishing trap. How much Essence of Life do I have? I have 4 Essence of Life. Yoink. But that was way too fast? Yeah, the crude stuff, especially considering it takes, like, actual metal and stuff to make most of it, it's like, that's ridiculous. I still don't know what a good, like, fuel source is. So let's see. What happens if I upgrade it? Reduces the smelting time and increases storage capacity. I mean, that's great. Reducing the smelting time would effectively increase fuel efficiency. But, I'm just not sure what to do. Oh, these don't seem to have durability. That's actually interesting. Okay, I'm gonna run away. I can't snip him. I can't snip the wolf, chat. Uniki. Nip, snip. Gotta find something I can shear. Can I shear a rabbit? Come here! Come here! Nah! Okay, I'm pretty sure I can't shear a rabbit, chat. I can't shear a snake, and I know that. Did I say a snake? Snake, chat. No shearing snakes. Okay. Oh, fuck! Thank God, animals don't seem to do anything in water. Oh, what? Bro, what? Bro, what? Okay. I don't know what that was about. Is that a little pig? That's a little pig, chat. You cute little boy. Oh. Okay. Huh. Guess I can't shear him. Good thing I know there are sheep over here. Come here. Did I get poop out of that? I have poop! Are you big fluffy son of a gun? I like how you shear them and you get wool and poop. But yeah, it seems really weird that in a game where like everything breaks super fast that the shears have no durability. I'm not gonna complain. I'm A-okay with that. I just am like surprised. Can I shear a chicken? Nope. So I guess what I need to start doing though, especially since my inventory is full, is that an underwater dungeon? Jesus. Nope. And maybe poop a little too if some madman jumped from behind me with shears. I mean, you're not wrong, okay? I'm just gonna say they deserve it. I just gotta find more stuff to shear. This animation makes me giggle. I do wonder again, like, how am I supposed to get Essence of Life, though? Because it doesn't look like any of it's dropping. From me shearing stuff. So I don't think this is the way, chat. Ow. Hmm. There's gotta be some way to get it. It may be that it's only off of, like, farming stuff. Which, if that's the case, that's fine, but dear lord, what an inefficient exchange rate. I definitely gotta make the, like, leatherworking thing as well. That's where all my sticks went. Cad made a mini-me of himself? You're damn right. Okay, let's go harvest. Yeah, so that's where all my essence of life is coming from. So then the next question is, how do you get seeds? Because I was able to get seed bags of stuff, but that was from loot. And then this takes, like, essence of life. So I guess it's just a circular loop. And the only thing that's harmed in the making... Oh! It's not durability! It's water! Okay! The circle of life. Do-de-do-de-do-de-do-de-do. Chad, just remember, you follow Rafiki, he show you the way. Wait, I made the tanning rack already. Okay, so that gonna do its thing. All right, I don't have to put any resources into that. Weird, but okay. I just get to be the beneficiary of it. Feels good, man. I still gotta figure out what the most efficient fuel is, because, like, I can't just be going around chopping down trees left and right. But apparently, watered crops grow 2.5 times faster, chat. Can't use planter tree seeds and grow them. As it is right now, I don't think I... Oh, there we go. Sapling. Beach sapling. Requires 5 essence of life. But, okay, see, that sucks, because that spins my essence of life. Like, I don't get essence off of that. Decorative. I can already tell you this game will definitely benefit from, like, some form of automation. So you know how, like, in Minecraft, I think you can, like, irrigate your crops just by putting water next to it, for instance? That would be another, like, great example of, like, hey, this could really help things out, so that I don't have to keep going back and forth and manually watering my crops every time. Furthermore, if we could find a way to, like, auto-harvest as well. I remember that was a thing you could make, like, an auto-harvester with, I think it was, like, a cactus or something. And the second it fully matured, the cactus would, like, pick the crop manually, and then it would fall. You could set it up where it would fall into, like, flowing water, and the flowing water would deliver it downward. Wonder if poop makes stuff grow faster. Well, looks like all it's good for is throwing, chat. Don't be asking me how that works. I have no idea. Iron bore horizontal, iron chain scope. Stack of iron bar. This is if you wanted to make building materials, how you could do it. Okay. Whoops. Fell down way too far there. Monkey see, monkey doo-doo. So far, there's not, like, any penalty to having my base roof unenclosed, so I don't really see much point. Any planks and ironic hits. Hey, Darty, thank you for the resub, bud. How's it going? Okay, that broke. Yeah, I like that you can just sprint up this. That moon be looking mighty weird. Like it's not illuminated by the sun. Okay, I take it back. I had to open my fat mouth. Is that a fucking beholder? Nope. That's right. Can't find me. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad, right, chat? Need about 79 of that. I mean, I'm not going to blame the devs for something like this. This was interesting. I'm happy to know that there is a reason to build a ceiling, right? Like... Actually... I'm gonna go one taller just because I hate claustrophobic rooms. So even though my shit's broken, I can still mine, but it reduces the efficiency. However, it doesn't seem to matter when I'm getting rid of, like, bricks that I already have. So while it doesn't do it fast, it seems to be worth. But at minimum, even this will already just, like, give me a much better, like, sight line. I wonder if glass is a thing in this game. Included roof common thing amongst Romans. I'm just trying to make it so it's only one wide, so if there is a bigger entity like that, it'll probably have a hard time flying through it. Because I don't have the materials to be able to, like, craft an entire roof. At least, not yet. One of the things we're gonna try to do here is, one, sleep. Two, I'm gonna go try to dig us up some sand. See if I can't make glass. White sandstone rubble. Huh. Wait, can I not dive? Yeah, it's just white sandstone rubble. Huh. Ow. What? Ow. Huh. I wonder if there is. Actual sand in the game. If not, then yeah, there's no easy way to make glass? Ow, dude, what the fuck? Ow, what the fuck? You guys freaking hurt, man. Okay, that should stop anything from spawning up here, too. Murloc's not even once, yeah. Yeah, see, already even with the 3 roof, it still feels a little bit claustrophobic. I'd prefer an even taller one, but I think this is a problem because it's like you're gonna need to be able to gain access to better stuff. Like, the efficiencies of items in the game are so bad. But I'm also kind of, like, stuck, because I'm just like, what do I gotta do, right? Like, I gotta upgrade my stuff, but I need stuff to upgrade my stuff. Oh, I have light leather. Guess I can craft an iron pickaxe. How ironic. Yeah, because I want the capture crate because I can't start getting animals back to base without it. That seems kind of important. That seems like one of the most important things that I can do with Essence of Life. Okay, so I got 25 Essence of Life. 30 actually from that. It also sucks again, too, that I don't have a water source block here. That's, like... I'm not used to that. That's normally something that you can do. I'll have to like look into that for this game and see, like, is there a specific way that that works? I think that's enough. Okay, that should keep that all done. Yeah, it's already wet, so... I have wool scraps. I wonder if I can do it at the tanning rack. No, it won't let me. Which makes sense. I just am like, I'm not sure what to do with wool then. Clearly going to be something that's necessary. Linen scraps you can only seem to get right now from killing, which is kind of wild. Greater essence of life. Oh, so you can combine essences of life. And break it down. Wait, so you can use essence of life to craft things? Interesting. You can kind of go straight to the end product. That's interesting. There are 25 memories. Okay, so the big thing, I guess, is I gotta go to the Forgotten Temple first and foremost. Will definitely be on my to-do list. The fact that I had to board all of that up. But yeah, I mean, if Romans built it because they lacked materials, it makes sense. I get it. I also lack materials. And especially if you don't care about rain getting in for whatever reason, like maybe it's not like your living quarters. Who cares? Make a fluted roof. The real reason of a roof is to stop the sun, not like anything else. And the sun's only going to get through at certain angles, so it basically does serve its purpose. Okay, so I've already crafted all of these. I haven't crafted the chef stove, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't really know why I would care to at this point. The alchemist workbench and the arcanist workbench I can't touch yet. I could almost do the alchemist one. I need more gold. I think I only have like 3 ingots of gold. And gold is seemingly rare given all the time we spent spelunking. I only found like 1 tiny little vein of it up on a mountainside once. And it looked like it was copper to me. And then I still have not found thorium. Watch over its deposits in the sun-scorched deserts and arid badlands. Okay, so that explains why. I'm just not in the right biome for it. Actually, it looks like it takes void essence as well. Various arcane implements. Thieving avatar powers? Romans lacked electricity. No, I'm just memeing and making up history. Oh, okay. Like, honest to God, it wouldn't surprise me if that was actually, like, the reasoning behind it. It's a very logical reason to do something like this. But it would be very interesting to see if, like, it's not the case now that you've said that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out, chat. Alright. I am gonna end things here for tonight. Let me see who all is on. If there be anybody worth raiding. I see Mr. Cog on. Let me go send him some love. Haven't gotten to raid Cog in a hot second. Oh wait, how many underscores is it? 2, I think? There we go. It worked. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Again, I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed Hytale. I should be live Monday at minimum, but we'll see if I'm live at any point during the weekend. I doubt it, but you never know. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll just be lounging around, so. But, again, have a good one. Go give Cog my love, and I will see you all Monday.